What's up, YouTube? It's JunkWarrior17, and it's been quite some time, and the reasoning behind this is that my laptop actually overheats because the fan is broken, and it shuts down if I do anything that runs harder than like opening a web page. So like if I try watching a video or downloading things or screen capping or anything like that, it all shuts off my laptop, and I haven't been able to do anything. It Lately, it's been okay, and I feel like there's a chance it could survive me recording this video. Hopefully it does. So yeah, this is I'm doing a deck profile of my scrap deck, which is my favorite deck of all time. It's I've never posted a video of it because for those of you who don't know, my locals got closed down last Christmas, I think, and so like ever since then, like I haven't had people to play with. So it's basically just been like my couple friends here and there and stuff like that. So like I haven't really had the ability to play in real life, so I've always just been on Dueling Network, and I had or not Dueling Network, DevPro now, and I haven't been able to screen cap my stuff from there because of my laptop. So I just haven't been able to do anything, and my deck is actually only like 90% completed, and I haven't gotten those extra cards again because like I haven't had any reason to get them for real life. But I'm bringing you the deck profile anyway, so let's get right into it. This is my favorite deck that has taken me 2 years of building process to get to this point in the deck, and it's with the new format, I'm absolutely adoring it. The deck is so good right now, and you're gonna be surprised when you see the deck too, if you are a scrap player. So to start, we have 3 Scrap Chimera. He is the Junk Synchron / Debris Dragon of the deck. When he's normal summoned, you special summon a Scrap Tuner from your grave. So he is your instant, Scrap Dragon, who is obviously your main go-to guy of the deck. Or he's an instant rank 4 Xyz. So he's basically just the card. He's the guy. That's all you got to know about him, really. He's also a 1700 beater, which isn't that bad. Next, 3 Beast, and I'm actually going to show you the rest of the tuners you can bring back with Chimera as well. There's also 1 Goblin and 1 Orthros. And the reason I show you all these guys at the same time is that amongst their individual uses, they all share one common effect, that if they're destroyed by the effect of a scrap card, you get to add a different scrap monster from your deck or from your graveyard to your hand. So you use that to your advantage to recycle your Chimera, so you can just keep summoning him and keep making plays off of that. So it's one of the most basic combos or just ideas of the Scrap deck. Now for their individual uses, Scrap Beast is the level 4 tuner, so when he's brought back with Chimera's effect, you can instantly go for a Scrap Dragon or a rank 4, and he has that scrap recycling effect, and the word scrap is in his name. That is basically every reason that you run him. He also has the ability that if he survives an attack in the face-up defense position, he destroys himself at the end of the battle phase. And since he is a scrap monster, that would be being destroyed by a scrap effect, which would in turn trigger his recycling effect. But actually, in the two and a half years that I've been playing this deck, that has never once happened to me with Scrap Beast. So, but I mean, it's there. Scrap Goblin, on the other hand, is a level 3 tuner, so when he's brought back with Chimera, and another thing I forgot to mention is that Chimera can only be used for the Synchro Summon of Scrap Synchros, and the other materials have to be Scrap Monsters as well. So when you bring him back with Scrap Goblin, your only option is to go into your level 7 Scrap Archfiend, which is not bad. It's a 2700 beater, but you'd rather go into a Scrap Dragon. But the main reason you run, or the only real reason you run Goblin, is because he has the same effect that Beast does, where if he survives an attack, he destroys himself at the end of the battle phase. However, he can't be destroyed by battle, which means that he stays on there and protects your life points for a turn, and then at the end of the battle phase, he pops himself, and you get a free recycle to add Chimera to your hand, and being able to do that safely is huge, because Chimera leads to an instant Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon can completely change the way the field is going just by popping stuff and then attacking into other stuff. So it's really game-breaking with plays like that. A similar card is Orthros. Now, Orthros is a level 4 like Beast, so you'd probably be wondering, well, why wouldn't you run 3 of him? Well, he can't be normal summoned like Beast can. He can only be special summoned if you control a face-up scrap monster, and even when he is special summoned that way, he has to destroy a scrap monster immediately on the field. The reason you do that is because you can destroy himself, and then again, like Beast and Goblin, that triggers his own effect, and you recycle your Chimera without having to have used your normal summon. That's the reason you use Orthros, and he can also be used for level modulation plays. So, for example, if you have Orthros and Chimera in hand, and you have a Goblin in the graveyard, well, you're thinking, like, shit, like, I have a Chimera in hand, but I only have a Goblin, so if I bring that back, I'm only going to be able to make an Archfiend. Well, you could bring back Goblin, special your Orthros, pop Goblin. Goblin's effect will let you recycle something from your grave, and then you could sync these for Scrap Dragon or overlay for rank 4. And then you could also, if you wanted to, actually go for that Scrap Archfiend, and then since you had that Scrap Archfiend in the field, you can special summon your Orthros, pop him, and then add a Chimera back to your hand so you can use it next turn for a Scrap Dragon. Yeah. And the last Scrap monster that we play is one Golem. Everybody's been whoring over Golem lately because of Redox, and I don't run Redox. Redox sickens me. I don't like the level 7 aspect, even though I kind of utilize level 7s in my deck. Not really, but kind of. And just Redox isn't my playstyle. It's just, it doesn't, like, I've been building this deck trying to perfect it for years, and Redox just threw my mojo off of what I was going with the deck, and I didn't like it. One Golem, actually, I'm a whore for Golem, even with using one of them and no Redox. Just, you'll see how I do that later in the video, but Golem is amazing. Now, the reason you run him is because he's a level 5, which means, okay, that's shitty, like, you have to tribute for him. Well, that's actually not the reason you play him. The reason you play him is to get him in the grave. Because what a lot of people don't know is that Scrap Dragon has the effect that if he's destroyed by your opponent, like card effect or by battle, this can even work by Solemn Warning. If he's destroyed, you get to special summon a non-synchro Scrap monster from your graveyard. You get your Golem in the grave so that when your dragon's destroyed, you bring back Golem. Golem's effect lets you special summon a level 4 or lower Scrap monster from your grave. So he brings back a tuner, and then you synchro summon all over again. So this is kind of like Light Pulsar Red Eyes for this deck. And it works amazingly. Now, what you're probably thinking is, hold on here, you only run one level 3 tuner, which means you're going to be bringing back level 4 tuners like Beast and Orthros. And that's level 9 with only one non-tuner. So how is that possible? Well, that allows you to go into your little buddy Scrap Twin Dragon, who I'll get into in the extra deck, but basically he is a different version of Scrap Dragon that can be better or worse depending on the situation. In a lot of situations he's better though. And he is 3000 attack, and he also has the same effect as Golem, that when he's destroyed you bring back, or sorry, same effect as Scrap Dragon, that when he's destroyed you bring back a non-synchro Scrap from the graveyard. So once you use that one Golem you brought back to make this guy, you have another one in the grave just to do it all over again. So that is it for the Scrap monsters. Next, I run 3 Photon Thrasher. Thrasher is one of the key cards to my build. He's absolutely amazing. One thing that I noticed with Scraps over the course of the time that I was playing them is that they didn't have a very strong first turn play. It was more like summon Beast, set Scrap Storm, and hope that nothing happens and you can pull it off to have a Chimera next turn, even though you're leaving yourself open for the field. Like, first turn plays were inconsistent, and I focus very, very, very hard on that first turn play because it is so important and crucial. And Thrasher is what lets you do that. You can special summon Thrasher, normal summon a Beast, and just tune right there. There's an instant Scrap Dragon, instant Stardust Shining Dragon, or Stardust Radiance Dragon, or Jewel Flashing Carrot Dragon, whatever the TCG name is going to be. And that card is actually an important aspect of the deck that I'll get into later. But Thrasher also allows for rank 4 plays, and he is a 2100 beater, which means he makes bad hands good because he can hold his own in the field until you can draw into one of your plays. And he's a warrior, which is important. Pay attention to that for later. Okay. Next, to Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk, he was one of my favorite cards in the deck for the longest time when I first started running it, and then I hated him because I kept not wanting to discard my spells. But now with the new format, I run a shit ton of spells, and Summoner Monk has just become another one of those first turn crucial plays like Thrasher has, and he's been really good now. And there is a play I will explain with Summoner Monk after that is really good, but it involves a card that I do not play in my extra deck. But if the extra deck ends up raising to 20, like Konami suggested that it might, I'll be very happy, and my deck will literally be perfect to my abilities of building it. Next, 2 Mechlord Weisel. I used to run 3, and 3 is actually very good. I still like it. Just with the new format, 2 is like 3 isn't really necessary, and 2 he still seems to pop up when I need him. So I really like him at 2. And for all of you who don't know, you can special summon him whenever one of your monsters is destroyed by a card effect. And obviously, all of your scrap monsters are doing that like on their own. Plus, Scrap Dragon can just pop your own monsters and destroy your opponent's monster and allow you to drop this. And your opponent can torrential or use anything to destroy. Like it's really easy to get this guy out, especially in this deck. And he's a 2500 beater that can relinquish synchro monsters, and he can also negate 1 spell per turn. So this guy is really entertaining to use. And he is basically what lets you stall and draw into all your plays, and your opponent will do whatever they can to get rid of him because they want to use their spells, and then all of a sudden you have a Scrap Dragon on the field and it doesn't even matter. And last monster I play is Gorz, because Gorz is good. Even though I run 6 continuous traps in this deck, you use Scrap Dragon to pop everything anyway, so Gorz is Gorz. The spells, I run 3 Scrap Storm. This is the main setup card of the deck. This is the spell I was referring to earlier with the old first turn plays. If you don't know what this does, it reads, select 1 face-up scrap monster you control, send 1 scrap monster from your deck to the graveyard, then draw 1 card, then destroy the scrap monster you selected. So the reason you do this is, well, 1, this is a free pop to set off your Weisel. 2, it's continuous, quick play. So if you go to summon one of your scrap monsters, your opponent bottomlesses, okay, well, Scrap Storm. And really, this is the only way you have to add Chimera straight from your deck to your hand. And the way you do this is by having a tuner. So in most cases, you're going to have Beast. So if you have a Beast and you use Scrap Storm, and you are going to be sending a Chimera from your deck to the graveyard, and you're going to be like, why would you do that? You want to draw on a Chimera. Well, then after that, you're going to draw your card for no reason, which is just awesome. And then you pop the Scrap Beast that you selected. And since Scrap Beast was destroyed by Scrap Storm, which is a scrap card, you get to activate his recycling effect, which allows you to add Chimera back to your hand. And boom, you have a Chimera and a live Beast in the grave to use it on. And that is just, it's one of the basic scrap plays that you're going to need to know if you're using the deck. But, yeah, Scrap Storm, it's just that card. And it's kind of like the Gemini Spark of the deck. That's the way I look at it. Next, I run 3 Scrapyard. Most scrap builds run 2, but mine needs 3 because, again, I am crucial on that first turn play. And there's a crumb stuck in this sleeve. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I really focus on that first turn play. And if I had a Thrasher in a hand and no Beast or Scrapyard to add Beast with, it's very depressing. I want to get that first turn play off, and this is how that gets done. And even so, if you draw anything dead in this deck, you can just set it and pop it with Scrap Dragon, so it doesn't even matter. And having 3 of these just allows you to suit your situations towards, or suit your cards towards the situation, and it's just more towards my playstyle, really. And it's free spells to ditch with Summoner Monk, so you know why not. Next is 3 Scapegoat. Scapegoat is, when it was at 1, you saw a lot of people running 1 Scapegoat in old scrap decks, and I didn't like it when I played it at 1. It wasn't worth it for the odd random time you could make Barkion or Beast. But now, this just lets you pull Barkion and Beast out of your ass, and it's amazing. And the tokens give you free pops for Scrap Dragon. They give you free Synchro Fodder. They're spells to ditch for Summoner Monk. They're everything. It's actually a really good addition to the deck. And you should really try 3 Scapegoats in Scrap deck if you're going to use it. Now, this is where my deck starts to get a little weird. Well, first, we've got Foolish Burial, which you generally just use to get Golem to the grave because you don't want to draw into it. And if you already have Golem in the grave or you already accidentally drew into it, well, again, you can use this to get tuners in the grave for Chimera or pop it or discard it, etc. Rhoda, which is basically just your 4th Thrasher. And Miracle Synchro Fusion. Now, you're going to be like, what in the hell could you possibly use this for? I've only seen Psychic decks use that. Well, let's think about this for a second. This deck excels at pulling Dragon-type Synchros out of their ass. This guy. Scrap Twin Dragon is also a Synchro, a Dragon-type Synchro, and so is Stardust Shining as well. And one of your main fodder cards towards doing that would be your Photon Thrasher, who is a warrior. Remember how I told you to focus on that? Well, if you use this and remove a Dragon type Synchro and a Warrior from your graveyard or your field after they've been used, then you can summon this sexy motherfucker right here. Dragon Knight Draco Equist. Now, this guy, when he came out, I thought he was the coolest looking card ever, and I promised myself, like I swore, one day he would be in my deck. And at the time, my main deck was Junk Doppel, and I had him in that deck, and now he's in this deck. And using this, top decking this late game is so good, because his ability, if you don't know, allows you to remove from play a Dragon-type Synchro from your graveyard to have him gain the effects and name of that monster till the end of the turn. So you can remove a Scrap Dragon to the end of the turn, and he becomes a 3,200 beater Scrap Dragon, or a Scrap Twin, or a Stardust Shining to protect himself, or the new Red Dragon Archfiend. Like, he's so good. I love Draco. Like, even if you don't have the second Dragon Synchro in your graveyard to remove for his effect, you still have a 3,200 beater that you just pulled out of your ass. And if you do end up drawing this dead, again, it's a spell. You can discard it with Monk, you can pop it with Dragon, and this has the effect that if it's destroyed by your opponent's card effect while it's set, you get to draw a card. And I do that all the time. It's really funny. I just set it if I draw it dead, and then they end up MSTing it or Night Beaming it, and I just draw for no reason. That's the uniqueness of the deck. Next, the MSTs, these will be Forbidden Lances once I stop being upset at the fact that they're like $10 each. But yeah, this Forbidden Lance is amazing in this deck because Scrap Dragon is just that one card that if you can keep him on the field till your turn, he can just change everything. And just being able to lance him like to stop him from being destroyed by the card effect or by battle is just, Lance is amazing in this deck. And I don't know why I didn't play it for so long. And obviously you have your one Dark Hole. Now traps, you have your 3 Call the Haunted. This is so amazing. This is my replacement for Redox, okay? I worked my ass off trying to get Scrap Golem in the grave. As you can tell, it's really easy to get rank 4s out because unlike a lot of Synchro builds where they get out level 8s by having like a 3, and a 2, or any combination of levels like that, this deck is just 4+4. So you can go for rank 4s out like so goddamn easy. And that allows you to make Revolval Chain. And Revolval Chain allows you to get Golem into the grave. And Golem being in the grave allows you to use Call the Haunted and just bring back Golem. Golem brings back a tuner and just, it's amazing. Like, and once you do that and you make like a Scrap Twin Dragon, you still have the Call the Haunted on the field to pop and then get rid of your opponent's monsters. Like, Call the Haunted is amazing. And even if you don't use it for Golem shenanigans, you can just use it to bring back and make a 1 monster hand into a full Synchro play. Or just protect yourself. Just 3 Call the Haunted is just, it's amazing. Next we have 3 Fiendish Chain. This is, I was playing 3 Fiendish Chain even last format, but now, especially that all the other traps are gone, 3 Fiendish Chain is amazing. I hate how this one is super and these 2 are common. That pisses me off. But anyway, Fiendish Chain is really good because you can negate your opponent's monster's effect or stop them from attacking, yada yada yada, and then in your turn you make a Scrap Dragon and you pop the Fiendish Chain and pop the monster that they were going to, well, you pop the monster that you use Fiendish Chain on. Because Fiendish Chain is going to go to the graveyard anyway if that monster leaves, so why not just get rid of it with it and not have to waste your own cards. It just works really well. I used to use Valor in this deck, and Valor does work very well in this deck, and it's amazing for first turn. But now that Heavy Storm is gone, I feel like Fiendish Chain is just a little bit better. And the last trap that I run is the 1 Lonely Torrential, because if I'm going to run one of any trap, it might as well be the one that gets rid of everything. And this also allows me to set off my Wises, so you know, why not? For the extra deck, I have, of course, your 3 Scrap Dragons, and obviously I only have 2 because I'm stupid, but in most cases you're going to make 2 per duel, but you will need that 3 from time to time. I guarantee it's going to happen, and you're going to cry if you don't have it. So that 3rd one is really nice to have. 2 Scrap Twin Dragons. Generally, if you're going to make 1, you're going to end up making 2 because you're going to make 1 by bringing back Golem, and then Golem's already set up to make another 1 if you bring him back again. If the extra deck goes up to 20 cards, I'm boosting him up to 3, but until then, 2 works really good 99% of the time. But yeah, he's amazing. I like him better than Scrap Dragon a lot of the time. Scrap Dragon's just a little bit less situational, because if they have one card in the field, Scrap Dragon is amazing. If they have one card in the field, there's nothing Twin Dragon can do about it. Forgot to explain. Twin Dragon's effect, like Scrap Dragon's, how you pop a card on both sides of the field. With his effect, you pop one card in your side of the field, and then take 2 cards in your opponent's field and add them to their hand. So that just gets rid of 2 of their Xyz monsters just like that. He gets rid of Zenmaines just like that. Catastor just like that. Like he's amazing. I love this guy. Atomic Scrap Dragon I don't actually run because it's impossible to make. He's just hilarious. Scrap Archfiend you need just in case you don't have any level 4 tuners in the grave, and he's a scrap card, so it's necessary. Now, these 2 right here, these aren't going to be Stardust Dragon and Red Dragon Archfiend. These are going to be their manga versions. This is going to be Stardust Radiance Dragon, etc., and Jeweled Red Dragon Archfiend. Because those 2 are so good, and this deck makes them so easily. Now, Stardust specifically more than Red Dragon, but Red Dragon's effect is that, well, the new one anyway, once they come out, its effect will be that you can destroy all other face-up attack position monsters in the field. That's crazy. Like, if your opponent has a huge field and you manage to make this guy, like, you just set them back so far. And, oh god, he's good. And he's a 3000 beater, like, what the hell. And Stardust is even better, because Stardust's effect, the new one, its effect is going to be that once per turn you can target a face-up card in the field, and that monster isn't destroyed by battle or card effects once per turn, or like once this turn. And you can, oh god, you make such good shenanigans with having that and a Scrap Dragon in the field, because you can target Scrap Dragon with Stardust effects so that he can't be destroyed once per turn. Then you pop himself with his own effect, pop your opponent's card, and he's protected with Stardust, so he doesn't go to the grave, and you just get pops for free. And when it comes to your opponent's turn, you can use this guy's effect again and protect him. And being able to protect Scrap Dragon, like I said, until your turn is crucial. So Stardust just makes things worthwhile. And usually if I know that I'm going to be able to make a Scrap Dragon within the next few turns, then I'm going to go for this guy first, because he can protect himself until you manage to get the Scrap Dragon, and then once you get both these guys, a lot of the time it's game. Next, 2 more important cards that, again, I don't have. Naturia Beast and Naturia Barkion, because you can make them very easily with the Scapegoat tokens, and having a Beast or Barkion plus a Scrap Dragon is just devastating for your opponent. Like, negating your shit and popping their... No spells, traps, or monsters is just... like, what? There's nothing you can do. It's really mean sometimes. And then Catastor, I'll get this guy from the new tins once I get not lazy. This guy's going to be Starform Dragon, the level 11 synchro, and the reason I said earlier that I kind of utilized level 7s is that you get level 4 tuners to your hand very easily with your 3 Scrap Storms, or sorry, Scrap Yards, 3 Scrap Beasts, your 1 Orthros. If you summon any of those and you tune it with a Gorz or Gorz token, then you can make this guy very easy. You can also tune with Scrap Archfiend. Yeah, Star Eater is just, it's a really good card. There's no reason not to play it. It's also a Dragon-type synchro to remove from your grave with Draco, which makes him amazing, having Star Form's effect. Or Star Eater, whatever the hell his new name is. And then obviously, you run your Draco Equist with this sexy mat behind him. I have the Ghost Rare as well, just I tend to play the Secret because this is the first one that I got and you can actually see the picture. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make out the ghost in the camera. No. Okay. Well, regardless, I only run 1 Draco. I just happen to have both in here. Evolvable Chain, because he's so good. This is going to be Gogger Cowboy, who I'll get with the Catastor. Cowboy is just... I'd rather run him than Utopia, because Cowboy's nice to run over things that are less than 3,000 attack. And killing for that 800 points of damage at the end is actually coming many times for me for some reason. But yeah, he's handy. And then my tokens that I run for Scapegoats, I run the Egyptian God, and obviously the Gorz token is just my 4th Scapegoat because I need the Gorz token anyway. But yeah, none of these count as actual cards because these say right at the bottom that they cannot be used in an actual duel, and this is already a token, so these are perfectly awesome tokens to use. So yeah, that is my Scrap deck, ladies and gentlemen. That is my favorite deck that I've been working on for years, and as the deck progresses, I will update it with time to come. I don't change the deck that often anymore because, like I said, I've been working on it for years, and this is the way I've liked the deck. Like, if the extra deck goes up to 20, it will be perfect, and I'll explain why right now. And that really cool combo I was talking about with Summoner Monk earlier, if you get a Summoner Monk and a Thrasher, plus at least 2 spells that you can discard with Summoner Monk, so just any 2 spells at all. If you can get these guys, you can make crazy shit happen. It's not like, you know, OTK, but it's just really good control combos, which is what the scrap deck is about. Now what you're going to do, obviously, you're going to start by special summoning your Thrasher, and normal summoning your Monk. And this can work anyway as long as you just manage to get a level 4 on the field before you normal summon the Monk. So if you had one before already, or you call the Haunted one and bring it back, anything. Normal summon your Monk, use his effect to discard a spell to get your second Monk from your deck, and I don't have one, so that's going to be the second Monk from the deck. Use the second Monk's effect, discard your second spell, and you're going to get yourself your Scrap Beast. Now, you're going to want to tune the Beast with the Thrasher and make, obviously, your Scrap Dragon. And then you're going to want to overlay your 2 Monks. And the reason you need to overlay the 2 Monks is because they're both dark. And that is going to make number, I think, 46 or 64, I don't know what his number is, but Key Beetle, Master Key Beetle. His effect is that you can detach a material to select a monster you control, and that monster can't be destroyed by card effects, which basically means like he gains the immunity that he does from Stardust Dragon, and and if that card would be destroyed, you can destroy Master Key Beetle instead as well. And again, like I said, keeping Scrap Dragon until the next turn is very good. So just having those 2 together is even better than having Stardust Scrap Dragon. So it's just a little nice combo to keep in mind. And that is everything I really need to talk about, guys. So if you guys have any suggestions or anything, just leave them in the comments below. And I'm going to be coming at you with other deck profiles and everything. And hopefully I'll start making videos again as long as shit doesn't go down with my laptop. Alright, that's everything. Peace out, YouTube. This is Junk417. And also, if you guys are subscribed to my second channel, Scrap Dragon, which I haven't made videos on yet, I don't know if I'm going to be making videos on there or not yet. It's just, I'll see how things go. But anyway, later, YouTube. Scraps, art, they're cool. Man, I'm a loser.